So I read what's technically the second chapter of The Art of Intentional Living, and it's basically 101 lessons from history's greatest minds, which are usually philosophers, scientists, etc. And so within this chapter, it was called "You Are Not Paying Attention," and it talked about how much you are willingly giving your attention away to situations around you, whether it be people, your phone, people's words towards you. Anything that really catches your attention and sustains it and gets you to think is what is dictating your life. And so I have noticed for myself that I have been giving my attention to my phone quite a bit lately. I've been scrolling. Usually, I focus on scrolling and what it is that I'm intentionally putting inside my mind and inside of my eyes so that I'm able to continue to go forward in what I need to do. So, for example, usually if I'm scrolling, I'm trying to be productive in workout videos, things that help me to figure out what can be worked on or strengthened within my body. And lately I have noticed that I'm not doing that, that I'm just kind of here existing, scrolling, keeping the idea of the thing that I want to do in my mind, but also not fully going for it. And I understand that at this moment it is time for me to go back to the gym. And I really want to, but I'm also somewhat dreading it, somewhat putting it off because I'm such a pattern stuck person and I want to get out of it. And this was honestly something that I was kind of worried about once, like when I figured out that I was pregnant, was just getting back on the bandwagon. And I know and understand that literally all it takes is for you to just do it, Nike. But I'm just I was before in the pattern of being at the gym for 5 hours. That was such a comfortable space for me. That was such a exhilarating time. Before I got pregnant, when I was talking to my mom about it, I would tell her I'm at recess. I have literally started my day with being at recess, and I need to get on a schedule and into a routine of what I actually want to do with this so that my attention is back onto the things that I actually want to see happen in my life. But the reason that I'm kind of dreading slash pushing away going to the gym is because I just can't give the same amount of time or the same amount of energy. I don't think anyway. I mean, I get winded if I talk too fast. And so I'm trying to because I'm trying to avoid the things that I know that are going to hurt, which are the thought processes that I will have during this time, the words I will be saying to myself, the expectations that I have of myself. And I know that's no reason to not do anything because it's basically avoiding taking risks. But I'm just like, I don't want to bad talk myself. I don't want to see how much, you know, I have regressed in terms of weightlifting. I don't want to have to take breathers so much. I don't want to have to do this. I don't want to have to do that. And when I continue to focus on that part of the process, like other than what I had said in my other voice note that I made today about rest and focusing on the result, I'm not making any sort of improvement. And I understand that. And I need to do better with that. And I recognize that. And I just need to grind my heels in, grit my teeth, and do it. The thoughts are going to come, but it's what I do with those thoughts afterward. If I go ahead and think those thoughts and say those things, are they true? Maybe in that moment, in terms of my weight regression and my ability to do things in the gym. But can I improve those things as well? Yes. Can I make my situation better? Yes. Can I create a situation for myself that will put me in a healthier situation in the future? Yes. And so when I focus on that and when I get into the pattern of actually doing the things that I need to do, my attention won't be on the negative things. And I know that. And I just need to focus on that. That's the result that I'm looking for in this process, not the process of the words I say to myself, not the process of the expectations and not meeting them, not the process of the regression, but the things that happen afterward. The point that I got to the gym, the point that I'm literally actively engaging my body in the things that I haven't been able to for a while, putting myself into the space to get back to lifting the weights that I want to lift, etc., etc. I'm going to look different. I'm going to look different in the mirrors. I'm going to look different on the camera. I'm going to look different in my eye and in my mind's eye. And I have to be okay with that. I have to be okay with showing the process, not thinking the thoughts that are within the process, and get back to the point of the result. That's where my attention needs to be on, is the result, not the process. When it comes to the things where I need to think things out, like I am now, and creating things, making things, that's where the attention is to the process. There's not negativity there. There's not focusing on spiraling. There's no judgment there because that's in the space of creativity. That takes practice the same way as this takes practice, but it takes a different type of practice, and I need to recognize that, accept that, and move in it. So in terms of the chapter with you're not paying attention, it speaks to me definitely right now in this time of my life. And if I focus on the result, pay attention to the moves that I make in the process, learn the lessons that I need to learn within the process, my attention will always be where it needs to be, not on just in my mind where I want it to be. Because that can stay in my mind all day long. That can stay in my mind forever. But with rest comes rejuvenation, comes planning, comes then intentional action and moving forth and putting myself into the space to create that discipline. It's a new season. Discipline needs to be made in a different way. And that's okay. So understanding what I'm doing And what I'm doing to keep myself from making the differences that I want to make and not reaching the goals that I want to reach is only dependent on me, only dependent on my introspection, and only dependent on the discipline that I apply to making the difference that I want to make. So, yes, I'm going to give myself a little bit to digest my food that I just had, listen to some music to hype myself up, and then go to the gym. And I can start at the gym for 20 minutes, if I can give 20 minutes. And even if I don't go to the gym to stretch, to strength train, I can go there to walk. I can go there to walk on the treadmill. I can go there to do a video again like I used to do, whether that be just me walking in front of the camera, me showing a before and getting to the point of understanding what my after might look like. And then once I fulfill that, I can come back and I can apply what I learned in those 20 minutes, if that's what I give, or more, to my mind and to my thinking, and bettering myself in what I can do better the next day. So if I go for 20 minutes, more than that, I'm going to be intentional. I'm going to be paying attention. And then I'm going to come home and I'm going to analyze, is this something I can do 5 days a week? Like I used to. Is this something that I can do 2 days a week, 3 days a week, 7 days a week? Because I'm really not doing much right now. So I could get up at the same time as my husband, 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, go to the gym, 20, 30, 40 minutes, whatever I can give. Analyze, learn, apply, be intentional, pay attention, and then move on. Start my day with recess again. Start my day with good music. Start my day with good intention and endorphins and hormones and just that pull of dopamine that I'm looking for. Because that's what really makes me happy. That's what is me. That's what makes me. And I understand that. And I will be able to get my creative juices flowing again. I'll be able to make the difference that I'm looking for. And it's going to work out for me. It can only work out for me. I can only make the differences that I want to make. So back to paying attention, back to being intentional, back to understanding the process and learning the lessons within the process, but also not getting wrapped up in the process and keeping my eye on the result that I want, because it's going to give me the result that I want and more, because that's how God works. Abundant living and abundant life lies in Him, but faith without works is dead. So when you apply your faith, when you apply your works to your faith, you will receive abundant blessing and more. So that's how I'm going to do it.